Little Utah versus UCLA, the preview. I'll let you go ahead and start us off here with UCLA, Ucla.
Yeah, Ucla, baby, let's go. No, here's the thing about UCLA, man. They don't get any love this year. They didn't get any love last year under Chip Kelly, man. They're 3-0, right? They beat Coastal Carolina, by the way, who's not a terrible not a bad group of Power 5 schools, right? I mean, Coastal Carolina's been in the rankings a couple times the last couple of years, but they beat them 27-13, right? They went on the road. San Diego State won 35-10. They beat North Carolina Central last week 59-7, right? These teams all suck, right? That's what you see when you look at it. It should be 3-0. But I'm really impressed with Dante Moore, right? The 5-star quarterback. He's a true freshman, if I'm not mistaken. They're starting him. Chip Kelly is. He's looked really good. I think he's like third in the country, Christian, with like 8.7 yards per play. It's pretty good, man. You can't complain out of a true freshman. You don't see that a lot in college football, even nowadays. But I will say this, though, against Utah, we both like Utah this year. We've talked about him a lot. UCLA is going to be put to the test in this game, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We all know Utah's defense is for real. We know that. I don't know how UCLA also on the other side of the ball is going to be able to slow down Utah. I don't think Cam Rising's playing. You're probably going to let me know here in a minute. I don't know if Kyle Whittingham ever is going to release that information for the whole year, honestly, if this kid's ever going to play after that terrible injury last year. But this game it's very hard for me to take UCLA as far as like stat wise, because they haven't played anybody. Utah's played some decent teams so far this year. But I think this game for UCLA is going to have to be won on the defensive side of the ball to shut down those two quarterbacks. They run that kind of dual quarterback system over there at Utah. If they can contain those guys, I think Dante Moore is good enough to put up some points in this one. And like I said, I don't expect it to be super high scoring, Christian, but I'm going to kick it over to you for Utah. Tell me something I don't know.
Well, Chris, I mean, you said it exactly right. I mean, the big question on everybody's mind right now is this going to be the game that Cam Rising makes his debut? Coach Kyle Whittingham, if I've learned anything about this guy, I mean, he's almost like an NFL coach with how he does it. Everybody's day to day. I mean, everybody's day to day. I mean, but here's the thing: Utah's 3-0. The biggest win is obviously over Florida, and they beat Baylor too. Yep. Now, granted, it's not the Baylor of yore that we had a backup quarterback. It was on the road. They struggled. It was a sloppy game, but they pulled the dub out, right? I mean, here's the thing, Chris. If he doesn't play, I mean, the offense, they're capable, right? Because freshman quarterback Nate Johnson, I mean, dude, he's been pretty good for him in 3 games. He's got 429 yards and 4 touchdowns this year. He's also had to split time with Bryson Barnes, though. But he did come in late. We touched on that Baylor game. He came in late and led them to victory. He saw I think he saw almost all the action versus Weber State too, which leads me to believe if Rising doesn't play in this one, which who knows, by the time this gets published, they'll probably rule him out or they'll say he's starting. He can go in there and he's got some experience. He can light you up. So Utah, I mean, they're super banged up, Chris. We touched on that. I mean, they've got some injuries, but their defense, it's top 20. The game's at home for them. And they're going to be going up against a really talented, true freshman quarterback. Yeah. So for that reason, I got to pick UCLA. To lose. To lose. Give me Utah 24, UCLA 17.
Oh, you got me kind of thinking there a little bit. I got a little hyped up because I did pick an upset in this game. I took UCLA 30, Utah 27. I hate to say this, I love Utah, but I think this might be the one of their slip-up games right here, Christian. I know they're at home. I know that's a tough place to play. You said it, though. What worries me in this game, because this will probably be, in my opinion, Utah's biggest test since Florida, is that they're so banged up on both sides of the ball. UCLA, yes, they haven't played anybody. I agree with you guys 100% on that. But give me UCLA by a field goal, 30-27 here at Utah.